Today I shall be going through one of your ICSE poems. The name of the poem is 9 Gold Medals by David Roth. The backdrop of this poem is sports, similar to one of your ICSE stories, My Greatest Olympic Prize, where also the backdrop was sports. Here also sports is the background. Sports had been introduced with the objective of promoting kindness, compassion, cooperation, understanding among fellow beings. So this was the objective basically of sports. That's why you had games like Asian Games, Olympics, and several others, including this the background of this particular poem, the Paralympics, to promote cooperation, brotherhood, fraternity among all individuals of different countries and all. But unfortunately today the sole objective has become to win medals. That's it. So today's sportsman goes to a competition not with the objective of participating alone, as Pierre Coubertin said, but here the objective is to only win medals, only get the gold. That's it. No matter what, even if they have to use unfair means like taking steroids and other drugs, they do that to win that particular medal. So that essential objective of games is forgotten, unfortunately. So this poem takes us back there to a times when brotherhood, compassion, and all these things were much more in play, and this particular poem promotes that actual essential spirit of brotherhood and cooperation. Okay, so as I said, take your copies and pens and take down some notes in this regard. First of all, about the writer David Roth, who comes from Chicago, Illinois. He was an entertaining stage presence, powerful singer, and songwriter of the neo-folk genre. Okay, so this poem in fact is primarily a song which is immensely popular as the neo-folk genre. It is one of the 8 songs of his album Digging Through My Closet. It was taken from that particular collection, Digging Through My Closet. It is from that this poem is taken. Now, one important thing about this particular songwriter is this song that you have in your ICSE syllabus is sung by the Scottish singer Ian McIntosh in 1996. Okay, so this is the version that is there in your ICSE syllabus, not the one which is the original one which is sung by Roth. Okay, the poem here represents the idea of empathy and how human values are as important as the spirit of competition. So the spirit of competition, of course, is important and essential. You have seen that in again the Greatest Olympic Prize, Luz Long and Jesse Owens, they were friends, but still during the final round of the Olympics competition, they fought strongly, they competed strongly, although they were friends. So that spirit of competition is there, but at the same time, empathy and human values are also respected. Now, what is empathy? Empathy means to understand another person's experience from his point of view, or simply stated, it is the ability to put oneself in another's shoes. Now, very importantly, this particular aspect is also seen in, again, My Greatest Olympic Prize. So, if you understand, or if you go back to that particular story, there also Luz Long put himself in Jesse Owens' shoes and realized what is going through his mind, what he is feeling. Why is he fouling all these jumps? So he realized that. So that's why Luz Long had empathy for Jesse Owens. So the same spirit is being reflected here also. So these two poems, this story and this poem, have a similar kind of a backdrop and message, and kind of things are quite similar. This is exactly what the 8 contestants felt on seeing the fallen contestants. See, you have one of the contestants fall down during the race, and the other 8 contestants felt compassion or empathy for him. So that's one of the important points, just as Luz Long felt for Jesse Owens. Sports is not only about winning medals. Next point, sports is not about winning medals, but also about learning the values of cooperation, sharing, competing, and complementing. This is called true sportsman spirit. So sportsman spirit, what is the actual sportsman spirit is cooperation, sharing, competing, of course, and complementing. That's what together makes up a true sportsman spirit. By awarding gold medals to all the 9 contestants, the authorities honored their display of empathy, helpful nature, and human values. Now, at the end of the poem, all the 9 athletes who competed in that race got gold medals. And it was not because they all finished at the same time. No, it's not because of that. But this occurred because they all showed empathy. They showed that essential human spirit. and human values and their helpful nature which they show. The lesson taught through this poem is selflessness. So we should keep our interests aside, particularly our selfish interests aside, and help others in a difficult situation. We should help others out in a difficult situation, and this is quite seen among visible among various people around, like doctors. You have army people, you have batsmen, football players. All this, you see this. Okay, so that is clearly seen when a football player passes the ball to the other player to help score a goal. Therein he shows this selflessness. He doesn't score the goal himself. Or a batsman doesn't score a run. Why? The other batsman is batting in the 90s and he will get the 100 if he scores it. So that's one of the another aspects of this particular poem. Theme of universal brotherhood, which is also reflected in that story of the greatest Olympic prize, the spirit of the Olympics. So that is what is said, universal brotherhood. And in another way, this particular poem reflects another thing: developed nation and developing nation and backward nation. The developed and the developing nation should help the backward nations come up. Only then the whole world will be progressive, and only when the whole world will benefit. Okay, so if the developed countries go on developing and the backward countries remain backward, the world will not progress, and the whole world consists of all the countries, backward, developing, developed, all these countries together. So it's the duty of those who are advanced to help those who are backward, and then only the world will progress further. So it's a very inspirational poem. It's a simple lyric of 8 stanzas of 4 lines each, without any rhyme scheme, and having unrhymed free verse. So there's no rhyming up between the lines, one line rhyming with the other. It doesn't happen. It's a free verse, unrhymed free verse, no rhyme scheme. The poet here takes up the role both of the narrator as well as of the spectator. So on one side he appears to be a spectator, and the other side he often plays out the role of the narrator as well. Now the title of the poem is very interesting and memorable also. It arouses our curiosity. Why does it arouse our curiosity? Because 9 gold medals, in a race, how can you have 9 gold medals? Normally you have one gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. How can it be 9 gold medals? So that arouses our curiosity. And these 9 gold medals, and as I told earlier, is for not for winning in the regular sense. They were awarded for the golden show of humanity which these people did. So it reveals the subject matter and carries a delicate message also at the same time. Okay. Now, regarding the backdrop of this poem, this incident actually took place at Spokane, Washington in the 1976 track and field event. At Spokane, Washington in the 1976 track and field event. One of the athletes fell and during this race, and what happened is one or two of the other athletes went and helped him up to get up, and then they completed the race. But mind you, there were many others who didn't pay any attention to this particular fallen athlete, and they continued with their race to win their medal. But only 1 or 2 of these athletes who were around him, who were participating in that race, they got up, went back and helped this fallen athlete get up and finish the race somehow. So that incident helped in a way David Roth to write out this particular kind of a poem and the song which is sung. So that's basically the poem. Now we move on to the text. Nine Gold Medals by David Roth. Now the first stanza, what does it do? It captures the grand scale of this event and also the effort that the athletes put in. So he says, the athletes had come from so many countries. Now mind you, this is a Paralympics. The Paralympics, as you know, are held every 2 years. They are for the physically challenged people. From 1968 it starts. It had started anyway. So every 2 years it is held, unlike the Olympics which are held every 4 years. So they are physically challenged people, and these people, they take part in this competition. So they have come from so many countries, just like in the Olympics or the Asian Games or Commonwealth Games, they come from so many countries to run for the gold, for the silver and the bronze. That's the objective of every athlete. They want to win the medals, either gold, silver or bronze. Many weeks and months in training, all building up to the games. Building up to the games means slowly and slowly they are progressing further and reaching up to that ultimate climax, which is the games where they are participating. So just as you prepare the whole year and for your final exams, you are ready for the exam. So that's your climax. You prepare for that. Or you prepare for your ICSE board exams, and the board exam is the climax. Therein you show your performance. So here also, they all trained and practiced hard in order to perform well in this particular games. All around the field, spectators were gathered, cheering on all the young women and men. All the young women, men participating in different kind of sports, track and field events. So they were all cheered up by the spectators who had gathered around the stadium. All around the stadium, the athletes were cheered up. Then the final event of the day was approaching, the last race about to be run. The last race was about to be run. This is going to be the 100 meters dash or race. And that is generally kept at the end to see, because it's the most attractive event, so it's kept for the end. So the second and the third stanza in this way captures the great gusto and fanfare of the event. The audience all around, the spectators all around, they are very eager to see this particular performance of these athletes. So the loudspeakers called out the names of the runners. Slowly but surely he is building up the climax. The loudspeakers called out the names of the runners. So names of the runners are announced, in which track, particular lane he is or she is running. That is highlighted. And which country does he belong to, what timing he has made in the trials, and what record if he holds, that also is mentioned. So each of the participants are highlighted, okay, and their supporters who are there in the stands know that this particular athlete is running on lane number 2 or lane number 3 or 4, 5, wherever he is running. They get to know about it and they can cheer for their respective athletes. The 100 meters, the race to be run. This is the race which is going to be run, the 100 meters. The 9 young athletes stood there determined and poised for the sound of the gun. 9 young athletes were ready. They were ready to shoot. The moment the sound of the gun, the moment ready, steady, and they fire the gun and they are ready to go. Poised means ready. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners on hearing the sound. So the signal was given, the pistol exploded, and the moment the bullet left that particular particular sound was uttered by that particular gun, the athletes left like a bullet. And so did the runners on hearing the sound. Similarly, the runners also did that. But the youngest among them stumbled and staggered, and he fell on his knees to the ground. But the youngest of the athletes, because he was too excited maybe, he stumbled and he staggered. That is, he lost his balance. So this is alliteration here, staggered and stumbled, both beginning with S. So, and he fell on his knees on the ground. So as a result, because he couldn't keep his balance, he lost his balance, he fell down on the track on his knees. He gave out a cry of frustration and anguish. He was full of pain and disappointment, not because he had fallen down and injured himself, but more importantly, because all his efforts were in vain. His dreams and his efforts dashed in the dirt. So his dreams, his efforts, his word is repeated, again alliteration used, dashed in the dirt. Dashed means destroyed in the dirt. That's why he is full of frustration and anguish, that I had trained for so many weeks and months, and what is the result? The result is zero. Just as again I go back to my greatest Olympic prize, there if you remember, after the 2 foul jumps, Jesse Owens was also thinking, I had trained for so many years and I am the world record holder, and what is the result? This. Have I come 3,000 miles here for this particular performance? So here also he is dejected. Just as Jesse Owens was dejected there. There of course Jesse Owens had another chance. Here he has no chance. He has fallen down during the race. So here he is dejected. His dreams and his efforts dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I am standing here telling the story, now it's a strange one. But here's what occurred. So and then what happens is, whatever happened after that, now after this whatever is going to happen, this is quite untrue, unbelievable. But the writer says it is very, very true. It did actually happen. And as it is true that I am standing here and telling you, similarly it is true that whatever happened is 100% correct. It's not false and made up story. So this 4th and 5th stanza, what does it do? It captures the climax of the narrative. Here, if you see, the rhythm is very quick paced in order to suit suit that climax, to make us reach up to that particular point. So it's a very fast kind of narrative that is used here in these stanzas, the fourth and the fifth one in particular. Okay, now the next stanza. The 8 other athletes stopped on their tracks, the ones who had trained for so long. The 8 other athletes, they stopped in their tracks. The ones who had trained for so long to compete. Just like this fallen athlete, the youngest one, the others also had trained very well. They also had trained very well for their competition, this particular race. But they also stopped in their tracks. They didn't go ahead with their race. One by one, they turned around and came back to help him and lifted the lad to his feet. This is the climax of the poem. And one by one, all these athletes, they came back and helped this lad to his feet. Helped this young athlete to get up to his feet, provide him with support. Then all the 9 runners. So this is the climax of the poem, which is totally unexpected. We expect all the other athletes to go ahead with their race, but they did not do so. They stopped, they came back and helped this fallen athlete rise up to his feet. Then all 9 runners joined hands and continued. The 100 meters reduced to a walk. Then all of them joined hands and continued. And the moment they join hands and walk together, there is no competition, mind you. Competition now changes to cooperation. That's why they are holding hands and walking, not running, trying to beat one another. Earlier when the race started, they were running. Why? They were trying to outdo one another, beat one another to win that gold, silver and bronze medal. But now, here, they are joining hands. They are joining hands, walking together. Why? There is cooperation among them. There is no competition anymore. And the banner above said that said Special Olympics could not have been nearer the mark. Now Special Olympics because of 2 reasons. Number 1, because these are specially abled people. We do not call them handicaps and all. We call them as specially abled and physically challenged and all that. So the banner said Special Olympics, referring to these people. Now the banner said Special Olympics. The banner is there for 2 reasons. Number 1, it is there to mean these people. They are physically challenged, so it's for them. Okay. But the second part is here this Special Olympics takes a different meaning, making them appear to be different and special people. Why special people? They are people who have done something which no other athlete, no physically normal athlete would have done. They have done this. So it's a Special Olympics. It's an Olympics which gives out a message of brotherhood, a message of cooperation. So that's what this particular Olympics has done. So it has given a great message. So that's why it's a Special Olympics. Could not have been nearer the mark. Now for this we go back to archery. If you have seen archery, if you have seen pistol shooting, there is a kind of a circle, bands on which the target is there. And in the center you will see a small red kind of a marked out area, and that particular area is the one which the archer tries to hit, and if he hits that particular area, it's known as the bullseye. If you hit it, you get the maximum points, but compared to that, if you hit maybe off the mark, you get lesser points. So that's called the bullseye. That's the mark you have to hit. So the point being hinted here is that banner seems to hit the actual and the main subject, which is Special Olympics. It seems to hit the particular topic. That's why it's not nearer the mark. It is directly hitting the mark, directly suggesting, yes, this is a Special Olympics. It is given a special message. So that's why the banner is containing a twin meaning, as we may see. That's how the race ended. And with 9 gold medals, they came to the finish line holding hands still. So that spirit of cooperation is now here. As you have, again I go back to my greatest Olympic prize. There again you have the spirit of friendship. You have Luz Long helping Jesse Owens. But again there was competition also towards the end when there was the finals. But before that, in the trials, they helped one another. So there was spirit of cooperation. Here also, of course, there is a greater cooperation when all of them hold hands together and walk the finish line and cross the finish line together. They came to the finish line holding hands, and the banner above and 9 smiling faces. Banner above again, remember, Special Olympics. So this is Special Olympics, these are special athletes, 9 smiling faces. This is the mood of the athletes. None of them is sad, none of them is any way angry or in any way disturbed. Okay, so that they have not got anything. Or everyone is getting the gold medal, so that's why it doesn't mean that. So 9 smiling faces. said more than these words ever will, said more than these words ever will. So that theme is highlighted out here, that every one of them was happy that they had won the gold. And that is what cooperation does. It kind of divides the fruits of happiness among everyone. So in this way, the last two stanzas, the sixth and the seventh one, they show how the competitors made the compassionate gesture of helping their fellow athletes. So that's how they helped one another, and in this way, they all were very happy in the end. So the end result of cooperation is always one of happiness, as is reflected in this poem. Not only in terms of sports, but in any other field, if you help one another, if you help your fellow people, you will feel happy, you will feel kind of internal happiness. That's what exactly the poem does. I hope you have understood the poem as far as I have tried to explain to the best of my abilities. And if you have any queries, you can of course write to me, and like and share this video among your friends. And thanks for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for your love and support.